What is good, YouTube? What is good, Facebook, man? Welcome in to another show once again. Your boy LastWord Productions, host of ours, Wilson, founder, as you all know. Always get the last word, man. So we here, another night. Some more moves transpired in the NFL world. We got a lot going on in the NBA world as well. But before we get into any of that, man, if you're not doing so already, y'all go ahead, hit like, subscribe on the channel right now. Hit that bell notification, be notified whenever we go live. Y'all already know what it is. And let's get right into it, man. But firstly and foremost, as we all know, gotta shout out my guys, man, who join me every week. I always much appreciate, always much love. Got Breeze here hit me right now. Breeze, how you feeling tonight, bro?
What's the word, brother? I'm chilling. Let's get to it.
For sure, for sure. Hopefully we have some more joining up soon. We'll see. But regardless, the show goes on. So with all that being said, big trade did occur. I believe it was the day before yesterday or yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Miami Dolphins sent wide receiver Jalen Waddle, 27 years old, to the Denver Broncos. In exchange, the Dolphins do receive massive draft compensation. They did get the first round pick from the Broncos this year, excuse me, the 30th pick. They also got a third round pick, was the 94th pick, and they also swapped picks in terms of the fourth rounder. So they received the 130th pick, and they in exchange they send Waddle and the 111th pick. So with all that being said, Breeze, before I get into it, I want to hear your thoughts on the trade, bro, for both sides. What do you think of the move for both parties?
Well, number one for the Broncos, we can clearly see that they're going all in. Um, we know that there were better options out there, like in AJ Brown, for example, but with a young leader of your team like Bo Nix, you don't want that toxic energy that comes, associated with an AJ Brown. Not saying that he will go there and, mess up the camaraderie in the locker room, but from what's been going on, you don't want that in your locker room. And Jalen Waddle has been up and down, the past couple of years, but there's never been a question of his character or the way he handles his business or conducts and goes about his business. So um, we know in Miami the up and down saga with Tua, it'll be hard to flourish there. I personally think that he wasn't really used to the best of his ability because of the deficiencies in Tua's game. At least in Denver, you have a quarterback that can really push the ball and get receivers the ball in space. I think this is going to be a huge move for Bo Nix. You can see that they have faith in them, they believe in them, and they believe they can do a lot of special things because they really were. If not for Bo Nix' injury, I really do believe they could have beaten the Patriots and been in the Super Bowl. I really do believe that the Denver Broncos were that good last season. You bring in a Jalen Waddle, who's a solid guy, very good locker room guy, not a slouch at all. And you add him to an offense that's rolling. You get him in the offseason and you bring him in, and for what it's worth, it was a really good deal. Do I think they overpaid? Yeah, I do think they overpaid, but when your Super Bowl window is right there, I don't think there's any such thing as overpaying because the window is open. You got to maximize when you can maximize because the way it's looking, Bo Nix is going to be one of those quarterbacks. If he keeps on this trajectory with the new CBA, I mean, with the new salary cap and everything going up, he's going to be a $65 million quarterback. Even though people may not think people may not believe he deserves it, but that's what the market is going to dictate. So yeah, they're maximizing, they're going all in. For the Dolphins, it's a great deal because the Dolphins are in a complete burn it down and start over situation. I know he's a fan favorite in Miami, but you're not winning much with him than you will without him. You guys are starting from scratch. It's going to be a couple top heavy drafts that's coming up talent wise. So it's a good chance to restart, man. So I do think with the situation that the Dolphins were in, salary cap wise and everything that's going on, it's smart to unload them. You get some draft picks, get some compensation, and you get kickstarted on your future, man. So it's a win-win on both sides. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like the move.
Okay. Uh, for me personally, I'm gonna speak for a Dolphin fan's perspective, and I want to say this. I seen a lot of people upset about this move. A lot of people, as you alluded to, Jalen Waddle was a fan favorite. He was a household name, someone people enjoyed watching. You know, the touchdown celebrations, the big games here and there, whatever the case may be. But the fact of the matter is, he was never going to fully flourish into the player he possibly could be in Miami. And I've said on multiple occasions, yes, I think Jalen Waddle could be better than what he has shown. And I think that goes for also the fact that the situation did not do him any favors because before Tyreek Hill got there, the man set a record in catches throughout the first 2 seasons of a career, and as well as he was a 1,300-yard receiver when Tyreek Hill got there. But once the targets and you feel me, the injuries caught up to him a bit, that just went south. And he just no longer seemed to be a real focal point of the offense. It just seemed to always be either Devon Achane or Tyreek Hill. And that's not to say Jalen Waddle can't play, but it is to say there was a clear game plan and he didn't seem to be a part of it more often than not. Now, I will say this. When Tyreek Hill got hurt, when Tyreek Hill wasn't out there, Jalen Waddle looked a lot better. When his number gets called, he puts up the performances. So I can't sit here and tell you he doesn't have the potential. But with all that being said, people have to realize this, man. As a Dolphins fan, I got to realize it was a burning ship. It is a burning ship. It was going down here. There's no reason to hold on to a receiver that's making almost $30 million annually. There's no reason at all. So what do? You go out and get what you can for him. They got a hell of a lot for him, if you ask me. And now you have 7 draft picks within the first 2 days of this year's draft. I mean, you can't ask for a better reset starting point than what they're receiving right now. This is a loaded draft with a lot of talent on the defensive side, in my opinion, especially. You got a lot of guys that could come in and help that side of the ball tremendously right now with the defensive mind and coach Jeff Haley. So you have to maximize the players you have. Now, here, I mean, I know some people are you know, predicting, or I should say, they're anticipating Devon Achane being traded. I know the reports right now is that they don't plan on moving him, but again, there's no real reason to have the man on the roster. You're going to be in a rebuild for at the very least, the next 2 years. He's going to have to be paid either this coming offseason or the next. So what are we doing? You already have $175 million in cap hit that's dead money. So I just don't see the point of holding on to guys, and that's why I support this move in terms of the Dolphins because, bro, it wasn't working. I said this to y'all last time on the pod, bro. When I first started the podcast, the first thing I said about the Dolphins is if it does not work this season, blow it up. That's what they're doing. So I can't be mad at when you're seeing household names or fan favorites being traded. I can't get mad at it. That's a part of the process. You got to get something back. No one is going to trade for Alec Ingold or Jordan Brooks because of a couple good years or 1 or 2 good games. Like you got to trade the guys who people actually want. And these are the guys people want. A 27-year-old receiver who's has a tremendous upside. I can't get mad at it. Now, in terms of the Broncos, I think it's a fantastic move for him because, like I just said, I think Jalen Waddle, despite the fact that I believe he was a bit underwhelming at times, I also believe he was not benefited at all from the situation. You have a quarterback who can't do what you do best for you, and that's push the ball downfield, be that deep threat, the guy that takes the top off of defense, get the ball in his hand in short yardage situations. Tua did that pretty well, so he could create. But you left a half of his game on the field because you simply could not consistently do it. Well, Bo Nix, that's not going to be a problem. Bo Nix has the arm strength, he has the accuracy. I think his accuracy is good enough, I should say, to get consistent shots down the field with Jalen Waddle. And I think he goes into a situation where he's clearly the number one. Even if Cortland Sutton doesn't leave and he stays, I still think he's better than Cortland Sutton. So he's going into a situation where he's going to be the focal point in terms of the pass catchers. Because now you have him, Sutton potentially, Evan Ingram, the rookie they had got last year who they were high on. So it's now the receiving room and the pass catchers are shaping up now. You go out and you sign J.K. Dobbins, you're looking to make a run. So I can't get mad at the team who has seized the window and sees there's a chance. So with all due respect to both franchises, I think both teams. This is one of those rare instances where both teams kind of win the trade because they're trying to go in two different directions in terms of the trade. So, in my opinion, I think both sides wins in this. But anything else you want to add, bro, before you move on?
You hit it right on the head, bro.
Yeah, for sure. But and the only thing I want to say left is this, though. I had an argument with a dude about this earlier about Jalen Waddle saying, the Dolphins they can't just trade away all the talent. I'm like, it's not about trading all the talent, bro. But it's the fact that you have to face reality. And I think a lot of people are not facing reality right now. And when you just look in the mirror, bro, like this is a team that's not good. It's just not good. And we cannot continuously believe you put together some veteran old players past their primes or maybe approaching the wrong side of 30 thinking it's going to work. It's not. So now they're finally in a point where I think is, like I said, I think it's a great thing. They realize, like, yo, like the quarterbacks wasn't going to work. Get him out of here. 99 million in dead cap don't matter. He got to go. Tyreek Hill coming off a major leg injury, he may not be the same. Get him out of here. Jalen Waddle, they calling asking for you. They offering a first round pick. See you later. I respect it, bro. Like so far, for me, so far so good from the new staff that's in place so far. So far so good. We'll see how it works out over the next couple of years because that only time will tell with these kind of moves. But so far so good, bro. I can't get upset. I can't. But let's move off into the next topic, man. And the next topic I would expand on the Dolphin situation a little more, but I'm not gonna go in too much detail about it. I'm just gonna go through the draft picks that the Dolphins have lined up as it stands right now. So as it stands right now, the Dolphins have, like I said, they have 7 picks within the first 2 days of the draft. That's the most in the draft. They have the 11th pick, the 30th pick, the 43rd, the 75th, the 87th, the 90th, and the 94th pick. This this just seems to me like they're going to go one of two ways, Breeze, in my personal opinion. They're either going to rebuild that defense and the trench play, or they're going to put together a massive haul of picks and get a player. I don't know who the player could be, but I think that's one of the ways they're going to go about it. And I think that's a real possibility because this is something this team has done before. But like I said, it's a new regime, new guys in place. Maybe they just draft for young talent to develop and, things of that nature. But those are the two ways that they can approach the situation. And I think if I was a betting man, which I am, I'm approaching the situation as if I truly believe they're trying to work their way back into one of these rounds and get a big name guy, regardless of who that may be. But what you think on it though, bro? What you say?
Uh, I'm not gonna lie. You guys are in perfect position right now to just start from ground zero, bro. Like, what big name guy is gonna come in and turn the tides right now, bro? Right now, you guys are literally at ground zero, and that's a good thing because that's where you guys want it to be. You're literally at ground zero, bro. Literally bringing in a big name like who, a quarterback or something, or receive. Like, what do you think they would do? Bringing in a big name guy. Who you think they would look for? Like,
I
what
think if
position?
I had to guess, they will either go the or linebacker or safety. And I'm leaning safety because they traded Minka. We know Minka's gone. They went out and got a lot of guys on 1 year veteran deals in that secondary. I think they're going to. I don't believe they should do this. This is just what I believe could potentially happen because
Mhm.
I know this team. Like I can see them going and making a few calls, seeing where they can move up and try to get a Caleb Downs or Sony Styles or something along those lines. I can see that being the case.
But yeah, okay. So I can see them doing that in the draft. But as far as packaging up all that they got and going to get a big name, they shouldn't. And it will be absolutely foolish to do it because, like I said, you're now in a good place. You can start from scratch. You can dig into the draft. You can develop. You can literally, the new ownership can now put its imprint on this team because you're starting from ground zero, bringing in veteran talent to a point that I think the
Oh
Dolphins are
no, not
projected to
veterans. I
make.
meant young talent. I meant moving up in the draft. That's what
Oh,
I
okay,
meant.
okay, 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 okay. So we can scratch that then. If they're thinking about going to get a big name with all these picks, like in the league already
Yeah,
proven,
I meant a
don't
big
do it.
name in the draft. That's what I was
So a
saying.
big name in the draft, I definitely wholeheartedly, I'm going. I have to go offensive line first, bro. I have to go offensive line first. I have to because I signed Malik Willis to a deal where I want to see what he can do. Now, I didn't provide him with the best weapons, from like an elite standpoint, but they're serviceable weapons. And one thing about a quarterback, if the weapons are serviceable, we've seen your weapons can be serviceable, but if you're not protected to have time to get them the ball, it's pointless. So I think they're gonna go all in on the offensive line. Um, I do think if they keep A Chain, they're gonna look for another back that's primarily elite at pass protection. Like they need to literally protect Malik Willis to get the ship rolling, bro. It doesn't matter, how good their defense is at this point because you're not competing to actually win the games. You're trying to start over. You're trying to just get reps in with the young guys. So I definitely think they go offensive line. And from there, depending on how Malik Willis pans out, then you can look at your skill positions on the defensive side of the ball because this isn't a situation where like you're the Ravens with a Trent Dilfer where your defense is so elite you're going to hold teams to like 10 points and you can win by scoring 13. No, you literally need to get some guys in there, some grave diggers, and literally start a culture. So I think they go offensive line, um, a running back or a fullback that's elite at pass protection. And then from there, I think they bits and pieces, look at for hitting gems on the defensive side of the ball. But I mainly think that this draft is going to be centered around the offensive line. Honestly, I think that's the only way you can go. Fuck the defense. That doesn't matter right now. You got to get some protection in there because how many quarterbacks are gonna die on the Dolphins watch, bro? Like we know Tua with the concussions and everything, but the offensive line wasn't that good, bro. So you need some protection there. If you think Malik Willis could be the guy, which I think he can, you got to protect him. If you're not gonna give him elite weapons, you got to protect them. So I think offensive line and a fullback, bro.
Okay. Uh, I agree with your sentiment, but I agree with it from the perspective of if they just sit on their hands and stay where they are now with the picks, I truly believe that's the approach they need to how they need to approach it. Because the trenches need to be better on both sides of the ball, in my opinion. I think I think that and the secondary to me are the two biggest glaring holes on this team. I know receiver now is one, but bro, receiver for me is so easily replaceable these days, dog. You can find you a good receiver, like
Mm-hmm.
especially in the draft after this one. Like it's a lot of good receivers in this draft, but the draft after this one is gonna be a lot more great receivers. So I'm not too much hard pressed on that, and I just believe, bro, like they have to approach it the situation either one of those two ways. They either stay where they at, you draft by talents. For me, talent has to be priority, bro. Like, because you have too many gaping holes around the whole entire team, bro. Like, it's too many pieces that need to be put in. Like, and I'm not saying the line should not be a priority because at the 11th pick, you'll have your pick of the litter when it comes to tackles and guards coming in this draft because there's going to be a lot of skill positions going early, in my opinion. But when it comes to that, you have to be able to prioritize talent and get the most talent that you possibly can because you're literally just deprived of it right now. So within the next 2 to 3 years, you want to have these guys developed and actually contributing to a winning culture. Not even like you got to go out and compete for a Super Bowl or something, but actually be making sustained, successful progress, bro. Like something that you could actually see and be like, okay, this player from year 1 to year 3 is now a guy that recognizes this coverage, or he recognizes this formation from the offense, so he know how to switch this or audible to this call, whatever the case may be. That's what you want to see, and that's why I think the talent, you have to prioritize the talent. That's not necessarily like the positions, but like I said, I agree with you in terms of we're just talking like what the team needs directly. I agree completely. The trenches, the offensive line, the tackle, all that shit need work. I mean, I think Paul for us last season grew. You know, the left tackle, second year player. I think he grew a little bit. I do think at this point in this day and age, I think our right tackle Austin Jackson, I think he's on his last leg. This will be the last season for him, I believe. And the guard situation is just a fucking joke. I mean, that's all I can say about it. Like, it's not good. I mean, you got a good center, Aaron Brewer, but outside of that, I mean, you ain't got nothing. But I think that situation does need to be fixed for sure. I just think they can't be choosy, bro. I think they have to just draft talent, dog. I think they have to, because you're so depleted everywhere when it comes to talent. Like, this is a bottom 5 roster in the league right now as it stands. Like, and again, that's not me saying I want to see them go out and compete, because I'm hoping they get the first overall pick next season. I really am. But it's at the end of the day, you got to start building this talent, bro. You can't accumulate all these picks and not prioritize getting the most talent you can.
I
And
just be so
that's why I said to you, Breeze, I truly believe these collection of picks, I think they're gonna try to move up and get them a guy. I really do. Though I don't know if I agree with that, but I wouldn't be shocked by it.
but like at what cost though? Like because when you get that guy and you put him in this, this position of like ground zero, what are you looking to accomplish? Because I can see if they move those picks because they believe they had a quarterback there, because that is the focal point of your team. But what are you looking to accomplish, really?
I, I
Because
think we gotta. I think the thing they're trying to accomplish, I think they're just trying to get the best possible player they can for the scheme, bro. And I think this for the defensive scheme. And that's why I think someone like, because when we look at Green Bay last season, the biggest thing they had for them was what, like when it comes to the defensive talent, it was either the safety play or it was the edge rushers. Michael Parsons in particular, Rashawn Gary on some good games. Like that was the bread and butter. And that's where Jeff Haley made his money, because he had safeties who could come down, play in the box, cover well, play one deep. That's what he primarily utilizes in terms of his safeties and what he needs on his team to be successful. That's why I wouldn't be shocked if someone like Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles were to be a Miami Dolphin in the next couple of months. I wouldn't be shocked by that. But
think I think that's crazy because on the other side he had a Jordan Love and a Josh Jacobs. So you get me? It's like I get like him trying to play into his comfort zone, but right now, bro, that defense is the least of your concerns right now because he's your new head coach, right?
yeah,
So yeah, bro, he has to literally come in and not only put Malik Willis in position to be successful in the short stint that he was in Green Bay. Those times he was filling in for Jordan Love. Not only do you have to do that, but you have to do that and protect him.
mm,
So with the Dolphins knowing that this season is going to be a wash, basically, like you're just literally at this point, like we said, you're starting from ground zero. No one is expecting them to go out there and put on defensive master classes or build schemes defensively. They don't want to see good defense, bro. They want to see what are we doing right now to protect Malik Willis because we gave him this money and the deal is team friendly. So it looks like, okay, if it doesn't work these 2 years, we can move off him. But if it does work, we keep him. And you don't just want to ruin his confidence because this is going to be his third team. He got dealt a bad hand in Tennessee. Green Bay, he was balling, but he was always living under the assumption, damn, I'm never gonna get this job from Jordan Love. So now you finally give him another chance, and it's gonna, it's gonna shock his confidence, bro. If he just stuck in a shitty situation and he can't prevail, and then now he's kicked to the curb again. So you want to maximize on his confidence, you want to protect him, you want to keep him healthy, and you just want to make sure everything rolls smooth for him, bro. So I think, bro, with the additions of safety and linebacker, all that stuff is cool, but that's not gonna help the cause in the future. But right now, like I tell people all the time, you got to build teams from the trenches out, bro. Like if you're that certain on a quarterback and you want to trade picks to get him, I believe it, bro. But packaging up to go get a safety, it better be Deion Sanders or something, bro. It better be Rod Woodson. It better be Ed Reed or something of that caliber, bro. Because if you package all that up and we see a bunch of, elite offensive line talent and guard and tackle talent, and you just draft a safety and Malik Willis ends up getting hurt or it doesn't pan out or whatever it is, this is gonna, bro. I can't say it's gonna look like the biggest failure ever, but it's gonna be horrendous, bro. It's gonna be terrible.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I agree for sure. I just, like I said,
knowing the Dolphins, they're gonna do some bullshit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just know the team, bro. That's it. That's why I said I can see it go one of two ways. Like, and that's why I said, me personally, if I were them, I just stay where I'm at, and I take talent. I'm taking, and like again, I know the offensive line is the priority, and it should be, but if you're deciding between a generational talent at either tackle or receiver at the 11th pick, or who you feel, let me say that, who you feel is that, you go with the playmaker or you go with the trench play. I'm not mad at either one, but I'm just saying, like, if they were to package these picks, some of these picks for a guy, I just wouldn't be shocked.
I
I
feel
wouldn't
you.
be shocked at all. But let's move off into the next topic, man. I want to speaking on the draft. I want us to review some of the first round picks that are coming up in this draft within the first 15 teams. And I want us to discuss who we believe can do what in order to take that next step to become a not just threat or contender, but someone who's just simply could potentially make the playoffs. It doesn't have to be nothing crazy, anything like that. So you want me to go through the draft order, bro? You pick you a team, or you got someone in mind already?
Nah, go ahead, go through the draft order.
All right, let me pull it up right now. All right, so first pick we know is Vegas. After that, we got the Jets. After that, we got the Cardinals. Then we got Tennessee. Then we got New York fifth, Browns sixth, Commanders seventh, eighth is the Saints, ninth is the Chiefs. That's crazy. The Chiefs got a top 10 pick. Cincinnati is 10th. So let me find the last five teams because that's the first fifth. That's the
I
first
ain't gonna lie,
10.
I could just take two right there off that list. I already got two on my mind, bro.
All right, go ahead. Who you got?
So instantly with the Jets, I'm taking the highest bidder for that pick, bro, because I recently just traded to get Geno Smith back, right? We know Geno Smith. We know, they wrote me off and I didn't respond, whatever. But Geno Smith can sling the ball, bro. Geno Smith, he can sling that ball, man. And we know the Jets are a dumpster fire right now. And Garrett Wilson is coming back. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of AD Mitchell, but coming out of college, man, the potential was there. Freak athlete, great route runner, but the hands, brother, is just inconsistent with the hands, and that's what got him traded from Indy. Mental lapses at time, but if I'm them, man, I'm packaging that up the same way I said the Giants should when they drafted Jackson Dart. They should trade that pick back, bro, because you're not a generational pick away from even making the playoffs. At best, you're number 3 in your division behind Buffalo and New England. So if I'm them, I'm trading that pick back. Whoever's calling, I'm taking the best offer I can. And then from there, I'm also gonna load up on the offensive line and let Geno be a crash dummy back there, because in the future coming out, we got some good prospects coming out in the future. Um, so I'm gonna load up on that offensive line, and
Yeah,
then I'm going.
they actually got two really good young offensive linemen too. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro, but
No, no, no. I know they do, but bro, the as a unit, the line they're very top heavy on their offensive line. As a unit, is shaky. They need to fill in those blanks and just let Geno be a crash dummy back there for the 1 or 2 years that they'll have him. I'm assuming one. You
yeah,
have you have decent weapons on the outside in AD Mitchell and Garrett Wilson. Brees Hall, I don't know what Brees Hall is going to be moving forward. I don't know if he's still in love with the game of football. There's a bunch of rumors surrounding him. Maybe you can go late round and get a back or something, to compliment him or to lift the workload off of him. But it's gonna start with that protection, bro, and you just need to see pieces moving forward. Start with that protection, and then on the defensive side of the ball, which is I forgot the coach's name, Aaron Glenn, right?
yeah, yep, yep,
Yeah, AG, defensive mastermind. Let him cook. Let him cook in the draft. Let him pick out his guys. Let him work on that defense, because that's the only way right now the Jets are going to be competitive right now. They have a serviceable quarterback. Lost. I don't even count the Vegas stint as something, because we know what Vegas was, bro. That come on, bro. I don't think anyone would have succeeded there, bro.
mm-hmm.
So you have a quarterback there who, for what it's worth, he can sling that ball. You got Garrett Wilson, who's a baller, coming off injury. I'm pretty sure people are sleeping on him now. He's eager to get his name back out there as a really good wide receiver. AD Mitchell is solid. You got Brees Hall, who's a very good dual threat back, catching the ball and also running the ball. But that defense is going to have to step it up. And we saw when Robert Saleh was there, they had a pretty good defense. They shipped out multiple pieces. They shipped out Quentin Williams, and they got rid of a bunch of things. So now you got Aaron Glenn, who's a defensive mastermind. Let him revamp that defense. Let him put his stamp on it. So trade that pick back. You can get a lot back for that. They got the number 2 overall pick, right?
yeah,
Yeah, you can get a haul for that number 2 pick. So trade it back, and then you go from there. And with the Bengals at this point, bro, they need one thing, and that's to protect Joe Burrow, bro. I really see Joe Burrow, and it bring me to tears, bro, because I see the Andrew Luck situation, bro. I see it's the same fucking thing, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You can see he's losing his love for the game. You can see it, because when it comes to you're not playing, you're literally you're just rehabbing to get back to what you used to be, and then you're trying to focus on getting better. But from rehabbing so much, you're just overcompensating for injuries, and it's with the turf toe. Remember, I think he tore an ACL in the NFL, right? Or
yeah.
was it
His first year,
he tore an ACL? It's a bunch of
and
injuries
then
and
yeah, he
knickknacks.
had remember he had the pitcher's arm injury.
Yeah, but it's so much piling up, bro. So get him some protection. Like Joe Burrow, for what it's worth, the Bengals have shown they can go out there and score 40, but they also shown that they're going to give up 45. But if you want to have a chance, you got to start with protecting Joe Burrow. So they also have to address. A lot of teams got to address offensive line, bro, but Bengals specifically, because now in that division you got T.J. Watt, you got Myles Garrett, and
Trey
you got
Hendrickson.
Trey Hendrickson on the Ravens now. No, Trey Hendrickson went to the Ravens, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Trey Hendrickson on the Ravens. So he's seeing death every week, bro. So those two, we already know what the Bengals can do offensively. I'm not worried about Jamar, T, and Joe. I'm not worried about that at all offensively, but you got to protect them. And I think if they protect them, they're right there in that division, bro. Between Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Baltimore, it's going to be a bloodbath, bro. And I wouldn't sleep on the Browns to make it competitive, because they'll win 3-4 games, but that defense is something serious. So Cincinnati, man, offensive line, and then you could pick up some nice defensive pieces. I wouldn't trade up to get defensive pieces if I were them. I would stay put, and then I would address the offensive line first and foremost. And they can, defensive piece fill in from that. But at least you got the ultimate security blanket in Joe Burrow that can get you 40 points a game. So you need to protect them, bro. Just those two. I think those two teams in order to actually make things happen, they got to make those moves, bro. That's rule number one.
Yeah. For me, man, I'm gonna stay within the division of Cincinnati. I'm gonna start with the Browns, and the Browns actually have 2 picks in the first round. I'm gonna start with that 6 overall pick. I think that is yet again another team that needs to address the trenches. And I think Francis Maga or Spencer from I believe what are you, Utah? From Utah, right? Yeah, I believe either one of those guys could come in and just completely help save this situation. Being the fact that I believe they've lost every starter on that offensive line outside of one guy. I know they went out and got some guys, but they still got a lot of work to do. I think they could go out and get either one of those dudes. And with the 24th pick, I mean, you could have a pick at almost damn near any receiver you want at this point. I mean, I think I think Amari Cooper Jr. will still be there. I think Denzel Boston will still be there. They might have a chance at Makai Lemon. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I think they could really knock this out the park, bro. It's 2 big concerning needs for them in the first round of this draft. And another team who I think would be interesting, I think the Commanders too, bro. I think the Commanders have a chance to go out and address some needs on either side of the ball. Excuse me. Whether it's going out to get you some secondary help, whether it's you try to make a move from Mansour Delane, or you try to get you another pass rusher. I mean, hey, I wouldn't be against them getting someone to like Ruben Bain or David Bailey or something like that. Like I think those guys can come in and really pay dividends for a team that really needs their kind of dominance or like that presence. They don't really have that right now. And you seen it last season when you watched them. Like they don't really have anyone on their defensive side outside of Bobby Wagner, who's coming up in age. Outside of, I know Jonathan Allen was there, and he's not the same guy. So it's kind of tough, bro, when you have a front seven that's. I mean, Luvu plays well for them. He's okay, but
Mhm.
that's it. You need something else. You need a consistent pass rusher, bro. Someone who can get out to the quarterback, or someone who could match up man to man consistently. They thought they was getting out of Marshawn Lattimore. They got the complete opposite.
Yeah,
So
and their division is a lot like the AFC North, bro. That division is gonna be a bloodbath as well because we know Philly is Philly, but Philly is going through growing pains. Dallas is Dallas, but Dak, CD, and GP, you can't sleep on it. Um, the Giants are up and coming. Jackson Dart looking good. Cam Scatterboo coming back. Malik Neighbors coming back. You still got Dexter Lawrence on there, who's elite. Like you, bro, it's gonna be a fight for that division, bro. Because any given Sunday, you don't know what can happen. So,
yeah,
and
for sure.
and with Jaden Daniels, you gotta protect him. As I keep saying, protect these quarterbacks, but he's another guy. He's been getting tore up his whole career since college, but you got to protect him, bro, because you can see for him to be, I think he's like what 175, 185.
Yeah,
Like, come on, bro. You come on, man.
yeah,
Come
for
on.
sure. I agree. They gotta protect that young guy, but I just think that defense needs so much help, dog. They have nothing on that side of the ball, bro. They have nothing outside of Luvu, Bobby Wagner on a good day. I know they corner they nickel corner zero. I forgot his name, man. I know they were kind of high on him, but they just have nothing, bro. Like I just don't see it when I look at their team. I just don't see it. Like maybe I'm missing someone. Maybe someone shined that I'm not remembering right now. I don't know. I'm not a Commander fan, but from what I remember, man, it's just not good, bro. It's just not good on there. But that's neither here nor there, man. Let's get into the rest of the topics, bro. So, is there any other team you want to talk about before we move on, though?
I think now I'm really interested in Vegas. No lie, I really like what they did this off season.
Yeah,
I really
I
think,
thought I thought I thought the Raiders had a great offseason. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie.
they went crazy, bro. They not only did they get quality pieces, but they also got depth.
Mm.
I really like the move they made at linebacker. They signed N'Kobe Dean and who else?
Quay
another
Walker.
linebacker.
Quay Walker.
Yeah, bro. So it's like they didn't just say, we're gonna take but nah, we're gonna take both. We need both. They got a bunch of help on that front seven. You
Them,
know,
I think a lot of people are sleeping. I mean, because you are my boy, but a lot of people are sleeping on them trading for Teron Johnson. I told people this the last 2 years, bro. Teron Johnson is one of the better nickel cornerbacks in the league, bro. Like,
mhm.
and I don't think people really realize how hard it is to play nickel because you're
Same.
defending dudes that aren't really running routes. They're just trying to get open, and he's one of the better nickel corners in the league. And what makes him that much better, he can go on the outside and hold his own. So it's like if you
Mhm.
need him to go on the boundary, he can. So I like what the Raiders doing, bro. I like the direction they're going in. I'm not gonna lie, I do.
I do. I like it. And like I said, I think with them going after Linderbaum, I think whatever assets they have now, they're gonna address that line. And then I think they're gonna take Mendoza, which I think that's the way you build a team. Teams should take notes. Even though the Raiders did it on the fly, I think that's the way you build a team. Right now, I think they're just gonna shore up that offensive line from this point on, and then Mendoza has at least a decent platform to step into as a young rookie. I
Yeah,
really think so. But just drafting a quarterback and then just putting them in hell, like, nah, man, hell nah. I really like the way Vegas handled business, man.
yeah. Then you got a guy Clint Kubiak who's coming in, and he's going to instantly
Mm-hmm.
install a new game plan that's going to be significantly better than what they had last season. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be better, bro. I can see Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty just being opened because the schemes just were not good for them, bro. It just wasn't. And with the talent that they have, with the opportunity that they have to bring in more young talent to expand on, hey man, the Raiders in the next 2-3 years could really probably do something or like make something shake. We'll see. But
Because I'm not gonna lie, for the most part, you know, skill wise, I think Mendoza, he fits the build for what today's quarterbacks are. So, and I think Kubiak, I'm not saying he built Sam Darnold, but he really got a lot out of Sam Darnold when people thought Sam Darnold was just going to be like this lost cog. He taught Sam Darnold it's okay to not be Superman. And I think that was Sam Darnold's problem a lot. You can see in Minnesota him holding the ball, trying to spin out and create so much and do something. No, he taught Sam Darnold it's okay. Go with the flow of the game plan. You don't necessarily have to be Superman to win. And I think with him being able to work with Mendoza is going to be wonderful because Mendoza is going to be in LA with a team that was looked at as shit. And he's going to think, damn, I got to carry this. I got to carry this. No, I think him and Kubiak are going to be like a great connection. He's going to really mentor the young kid. And I think he's really going to help his growth and his development, honestly. So I like what Vegas did, man. I'm jealous. I'm jealous because that's how to build a team 101. I wish my team would take notes, but hey, man, shout out to the Raiders, man.
yeah, they doing it. They doing it the right way. They doing it in a good way. Not gonna lie. But let's move off into basketball, man. We're gonna discuss some basketball here. And I want to discuss the two young studs in our league, Cade Cunningham and Anthony Edwards. Both have suffered some injuries. Anthony Edwards seems to have a timetable. He'll be out the next 2 weeks at most. I believe he suffered an ankle injury, if I'm not mistaken. It was some kind of lower extremity injury. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was an ankle injury, if I'm not mistaken. And Cade Cunningham suffered back spasms. So I want to ask you, Breeze, do you have any concerns at all with these injuries for both these young players as the postseason approaches us?
I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even think I don't think they're really injured. I really think the organization is just putting this out just to get them some rest because it has been a hellacious season. And coming down to the last couple weeks of the season, this is the time where you need your depth to ramp it up. So I think with the Pistons, we all see that Cade Cunningham is the end all be all with them. They need that bench. They need those reserve guys to get some rhythm. They need to. They need it. And they're playing garbage teams now, but like they just played the Wizards. I think in their upcoming schedule, they got like the Nets and stuff like that. So let those guys go out there and get a rhythm. Same thing with the Timberwolves. Like right now, I think they're playing who are they playing right now? I just saw, but they're down the stretch games are just like garbage right now. So I think this is kind of like a blessing in disguise. Of course, you don't want your star player hurt, but going into the playoffs, you set your rotations. You're probably going to run 9 men deep at the most, and you need all 9 of those guys to have a rhythm. We know Anthony Edwards and Cade Cunningham. It doesn't matter. They can miss 2, 3 games. They're going to come back because they're going to go out there. They're going shot hunting. They're going to do what they do. But you
Mm-hmm.
need those players like Minnesota needs a Julius Randle to get it together because he's been in the slump. They need Rudy Gobert to get it together because he, for some reason, can't catch the ball, catch alley-oops. They need Jaden McDaniels to get it together. He's been in the slump. On Detroit side, they need Duncan Robinson to get it together. Asar Thompson needs to get it together. Tobias Harris needs to pick it up. So I'm not worried about it at all because it is, like you said, the end of the season is creeping up slowly. Everything is set in stone. At worst, I know, Boston, I think if we win tonight, we're 3 games behind them for the number 1 seed, but we'll see how it goes, man. So I think it's no big deal at this point. I think this is actually the perfect time. So a lot of those backups and reserves can get, some rhythm going with the ones because in the playoffs is a whole different monster, man. This regular season stuff doesn't matter when that playoff is around the corner. So I appreciate the coaches, taking the high road and letting them get some rest because the highlight of the season is around the corner. So I'm not worried at all, unless it's something like an ACL or an Achilles or something. Back spasms are gonna come and go, bro. So I'm not worried about it at all.
Okay. Well, for me, man, I gotta say this about Jaden McDaniels. I've been impressed by Jaden McDaniels this season. He's shooting career highs. He's definitely expanding on his offensive game, and I love to see that because I was a fan of his game. Because I always believe that the guys who are defensive minded, defensive players will eventually either become boom players or they'll just simply be a bust player. And that's why I've always been higher on guys like Jimmy Butler, Isaac Okoro, Alex Caruso, and now Jaden McDaniels. Hell, even Vando at one point with the Lakers now. Like I just believe that those guys can really make themselves into something that could contribute to a championship team. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, as we see. But I gotta say, with Jaden McDaniels specifically, I've been impressed extremely by him this season. But as far as Anthony Edwards go, I agree with you. I don't think it's anything serious. I think it's completely precautionary, and I think it's just to reserve their player, their great young player, until it's time for them to actually play some meaningful games again. But whatever that looks like, whatever they think that may consist of, because right now they're the 6th seed. We'll see how it go for them. But on the Detroit side, I'm a bit concerned because back spasms are something that can come and go, but that's the problem. They can come and go.
Mm-hmm.
And this could be something that could potentially get him out of his game and out of rhythm in the midst of battle. Like this could be something that hinders him from being able to get to a certain spot or get him out the game completely. So that's something that I think the Pistons have to be a bit weary of because again, it's not nothing serious to the point where you're going to sideline him for multiple games or something like that. But it is something that you're going to be cautious over. And when you're in a hard fought game 6, game 5, it's going to get physical. And there's no telling how your body may react. So this is going to be something that I think the Pistons have to key in on and actually give focus to because, like I said, you don't know, bro. Like you don't know what it could mean down the road from 2, 3 weeks from now, a month from now. Like you really just don't know. But as it stands now, I think neither team should be worried. I don't think they need to be concerned about it.
Mm-hmm. I get
But
you. I agree with
but let's switch to the one team that has clinched a playoff position, and that is the OKC Thunder. SGA went out there and now holds the record for the most consecutive games for 20 plus points or more. So my question to you, Breeze, are the Thunder supplanting themselves as a back-to-back champions already? Like, is it just, in your opinion, do you believe they're just the favorites to win it all again?
Um, this is such a tricky question because getting drunk off the championship Kool-Aid is a real thing. Um, I've experienced both of my teams get drunk off championship Kool-Aid before, but um, it's very hard. It's very difficult to go back to back. That's why it rarely happens. I think the last team we saw go back to back was the Warriors, right? And then before that, it was the Heat, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
The Warriors and the Heat, and we saw those teams, we saw the adversity. It's very very difficult. My Celtics, we saw my Celtics win, and we saw the next season Tatum go down with an injury. Like it's so many things that come into mind. You never know what can happen, but they definitely are favorites for a title. I'll never take that away. But it's just so much that can go wrong. Do I think that they have a great chance to get out the West? Of course. I think Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is leaving, his imprint on the NBA. He's arguably the best player in the NBA if you want to look at him, Jokic, however you want to look at it. But I do think the Western Conference is going to be a little more tougher this year. Um, I see C's 1 through 8. The Thunder, the Spurs are on the rise. I really do think the Spurs are going to be their biggest competition. I'll never count out Jokic. Um, the Houston Rockets, I kind of like what the Rockets have going on, and the Phoenix Suns have the prototype to deal with them. I told people before the season starts, man, the Phoenix Suns have what it takes to beat the Thunder, and they've done it. So I do think the Western Conference is going to be a bloodbath, but I don't want to, put that jinx on them because that back-to-back talk is serious, man. So I do think they're favorites to get out the West, but I don't know, man. It's pretty tough, though. I think we might have a new champion this year, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Well, as it stands now, man, I think it's kind of tough to not view them as the guys to beat, and I think it's tough to not say they're not the guys right now you would pick to win it all. Because I know Chet has taken a step back. I know J Dub was in and out early in the season. I know he hasn't quite become what we seen last season, and I know Lou Dort has become one of their more problematic players in terms of their consistency as shooting the ball goes or offensive gameplay, period. And he's developing a reputation of being a dirty player. So I get it. Those things are things to be worried about. But at the end of the day, it's not three teams in the league that play better together than them. And their record proves that. Their record shows that. And their ability to win games when things aren't going well for their star player in SGA at times, when he's struggling to get looks or get certain shots off, he's able to dish the ball to a Jalen Williams, to a Chet Holmgren, to the other Jay Williams, to Alex Caruso off the bench, whoever, and they're able to create and actually utilize their bag or their offensive prowess to get other guys going as well or create space and opportunity. So it's difficult when you have that many shot creators and you feel me, shot makers on your team. And it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a tough out for anyone out west. So it's gonna be tough. I think the best bet are the Spurs because their perimeter defense they have with guys like Steven Castle, Devin Vassell, Victor Wembanyama, of course, being the presence he is in the interior. Like it's gonna be tough. But I truly believe that as it stands now, I mean, it's no one I'm picking to beat them out of best out of seven. Like it's just not.
I agree with you, bro. Like I said, man, it's gonna be a bloodbath out west, man. I
Now, it is
really
for sure. I mean, even with the Lakers, I mean, I want to get into the Lakers too. They've won 6 straight. This is the team that seems to be picking it up at the right time. You know, the biggest issue they had was defense and the fact that dudes wasn't healthy. Like AR missed a huge chunk of this season. Luca missed some time. LeBron, as we know, missed some time. So you had your 3 key guys or your 3 key shot creators. They were hardly on the court together. And now you have them all together and it's starting to look like it's meshing well. They look a lot better. So it's a lot to go on out west right now. It's a lot of things happening, and it's just so many ways you could look at these storylines and these games and be like, you can really see this team competing, and then on the other end, you can be like, I can also see them losing in the first round. Like you can see this,
definitely.
but you got anything else you want to add, bro?
No, but like I said, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, but my thing is, last thing before we head out, man, I want to ask you about what you think of Cleveland and what they've done thus far. Do you still think they have a chance out east?
Oh, definitely. I love the moves that they've made. My main thing is, and I would tell people this all the time, people who would tell me things like they don't know what's wrong with James Harden or what he has going on. And I tell people all the time, bro, the man is burnt out. He's burnt out, bro. That play style, it doesn't work. The play style that he revolutionized and made famous, because people would like to say Steph changed the game of basketball, but James Harden hit, bro. All these young dudes that you see playing ball, that's James Harden, bro. All these young guys with the ISOs and the step backs and the dribble and all this stuff. It started with the Euro players coming in, and Manu Ginobili brought it in, and Paul Pierce took some and built on it, and it's different player. But bro, right now, the players that you see in the league, these guards, these are James Harden move, bro. The step backs and all that stuff, bro. That's James Harden. And if we're being real, in his heyday, James Harden was playing like 70 games a season, putting up 35. And with that play style, bro, dribble, 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 dominating the ball, playing on teams full of role players and carrying them to deep playoff runs. And when he gets in the heat of those deep playoff runs, you can see he's burnt out, bro. He's tired. Even Kobe said it. That play style isn't sustainable. Dominating the ball like that, being one person on the ball, the one time that they did give him somebody that can help him take the responsibility off of him was when they played against the Warriors and it went game 7, but Chris Paul hurt his hamstring. That was
Mm-hmm.
the one time that you saw it work. So I say that to say you move towards him going to Brooklyn. KD and Kyrie are the number one options, but James Harden gets hurt. Kyrie dealing with the COVID sitting out situation doesn't go anywhere. James Harden hurts a hamstring, they lose to the Bucks. You go to the series with Philly and when they play Boston, Embiid wins an MVP with James Harden. Jared Allen becomes an all-star with James Harden. If Embiid doesn't go out in game 7 and put up like 15 points, they probably would have beaten us that year. And I'm a Boston fan. They had our number, bro. That was a tough series.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, when you have James Harden as your number one, and I don't think if you have anybody outside of LeBron James, nobody can go out there and dominate that ball for 70 plus games in the season, take you on a deep playoff run, bro, and still sustain that greatness. Fatigue is real, bro. It's really real. So you put him in a situation now where you got Evan Mobley, you got Jared Allen, who I don't know what the hell happened to him. He turned into Kareem, bro. He's sky hooks and dunking and going crazy. Donovan Mitchell. Now you got James Harden as arguably your third or fourth scoring option, but as your main facilitator, who I can admit, has transitioned into one of the best point guards in the league, facilitating the ball. He's a maestro with the ball. So now you got him running the offense with a team that has Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench, Keon Ellis coming off the bench, Dean Wade, Max Strus has come back. You got real
Mhm.
depth in Cleveland, and they're going to be a threat in the playoffs, bro. So, do I count them out? Absolutely not, because I don't trust Detroit because of the shooting deficiencies. New York doesn't look like they picked up anything from last year. I don't see Cat being aggressive the way he should be. He forgets that he's 7 feet sometimes. Jalen Brunson is going to dribble the air out the ball. Jalen Brunson is doing James Harden stuff, bro. He's dribbling out the shot clock and getting bad shots up, bro. So I think Cleveland is going to make noise. I think I already, with Jason Tatum coming back, Boston is going to make noise. I think the East is going to come down to those two, bro, Cleveland and Boston, because I think Detroit, with the shooting deficiencies, it'll get exposed in the playoffs. And New York, I just don't trust New York, bro. I honestly don't.
Okay. I respect it, man. I feel the same way. I share the same sentiments. I just but a lot like how I feel about James Harden, I gotta see it. But I know one thing. I know James Harden go out there, he can make passes, and I know he's gonna be one of the best playmakers in the league. And he's been there for quite some time now. I think a lot of people forget that this is a guy that led the league in assists twice throughout his career. This is one of the best playmaking guards we've ever seen at the shooting guard position. He may very well be the best passing shooting guard we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that he doesn't need to be in rhythm to do. This is just an instinctive thing he has and trait he has.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with Detroit that scares me, the shooting wolves does scare me, but the inexperience scares me even more. I think this is a team that has not been under these bright lights, and I said this to Gino. I said I'm not really concerned about the shooting rules. I think shots are going to fall. They're going to come and go. That's any team in the league, but the inexperience, in order to overcome that, to get out of your head and know that you just got to go to the next possession, you got to move on. I think that matters more than just not being able to consistently put up big numbers or shoot the ball well. Because when your confidence starts to deplete and you start to feel like you just can't beat these guys, that's a whole nother battle that you're fighting along with the game itself. So I think that's something I am worried about when it comes to the Detroit Pistons. The Knicks, I can admit, I believe are inconsistent. I think even though Carter Anthony Towns, in my opinion, this season has stepped it up defensively just a bit, I still do believe he does not play aggressive enough on the offensive end with the type of skill set he has and what he can utilize. And I just believe, man, I don't understand why they even moved for Jordan Clarkson at this point, bro. Like he's not playing. Like and I get it. He isn't someone who's a 30-minute per night guy, but he's a spark plug off the bench who can give you a good 12 to 14 points. I just don't get why he's not playing. And I don't know if it's just he's not earning his keep. I don't know if his rotations, they feel like it's too tight for him to get minutes. I don't know, but it just doesn't make sense of why they traded for this guy. And I just don't get it. But I do agree with you. I think Cleveland and Boston are right there. I think Boston, I got to see a little more from Tatum, but I know he can play. I know he's one of the best players in the league when he is upright. I just got to see if he's going to be right when it comes down to time to actually put, pen to paper. Because right now he's still like he's working on the cobwebs to me. It does. He looks like a guy that's just fresh out the lab.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see
I
it from
think he
him.
came back at the right time, bro. This last stretch of basketball, we already got a good seed. I think he came back. He came back at the right time to knock the cobwebs off. Right now, they're just out there just accommodating him. Like, hey, JT, go slash, go playmate, go do this, go knock the rust off. So I think the experiment for Jalen Brown holding it down, it worked. He did his thing. In my opinion, Joe Mazzulla is coach of the year, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I really can't lie to you, bro, because this season was supposed to be, we in the AJ Demansa sweepstakes or some shit like that, bro. Like this was supposed to be a wash.
Yeah, for sure. I I have no issue with him being coach of the year. I think his only real competition is the Pistons coach, who more than likely will be the winner. I mean, who Detroit coach again? I forgot.
JB Bickerstaff.
Yeah, JB Pickerstaff. Yes, I think he's going to be the winner ultimately because to go from one of the worst franchises in the league to number one seed in your conference, Man, that's unheard of, bro. That's exactly what Mike Vrabel just did with the Patriots, and he won Coach of the Year. So we'll see, bro. We'll
I
see.
mean, the only reason I give Missoula the edge, and not even because I'm a fan, bro. Your best player went down, and you gutted your championship roster, and you literally rolled out Jalen Brown and no other All Stars, bro. Derek White is no slouch, but Derek White wasn't putting up. He's not putting up 19 and 12 like Jalen Duran or you get me, like he wasn't like, bro. It was just literally Jalen Brown and the cast and Cade Cunningham. He's an All Star. He got a nice team around him in Detroit, bro. So if it come down to those two, bro, that's the only thing I'm a factor in, bro. You got that championship roster, you ship out everybody, and it's supposed to be a wash. And you know your number two option turns into number one. It's in the MVP consideration, bro. I gotta roll with that, bro. I roll with it even if it wasn't my team, bro. That I ain't gonna lie. I thought he was overrated at one point. I called him a talent merchant, but to see what he did this year, bro, he earned his keep, bro. He earned it. I thought he was like a Steve Kerr type of coach, bro, but he earned it, bro.
I mean, yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all. I just believe when you talk these teams, and we're talking to these two teams in particular, you have I know Kate Cunningham and Jalen Duran are wildly, immensely talented, but the fact is they had bad tendencies that were leading to bad basketball. JB Pickersdale came in, he coached up Jalen Duran to get out of his own way and let's just stick to his game. And now he's a walking double double because of that coaching. Cade Cunningham, he went from a borderline, maybe all-star guy to an MVP favorite at one point. Like he's making the and I know the Pistons have talent. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of this talent is the same talent that carried over from the season before, and this is nowhere near the same team. Like this is a team that's legitimately competing. Last season, this was a team people thought could maybe win a playoff game or two. Now they're in a position where people think they could legitimately go out and be in the NBA Finals, and that's why I'm saying I'm not upset with with either coach and who may win it. That's why I said the same thing with in the NFL with Mike Vrabel or Mike McDonald. Like I'm not against either one of those coaches winning it because to me they're both deserving. And if you could give the award to both of them, I say do it. But the
Mm-hmm.
reality is only one person can win. So it's like at that point, I think narratives and storylines is going to create the winner because they both are doing something that a lot of people did not believe that would be possible at these points at this point of the season. Because, bro, if we could all sit and say we thought Detroit would be good, no one thought Detroit would be the one seed in the East. No one thought that. No one thought Detroit would be a team that could actually be in contention of competing for a championship, especially with the young talent they have. They have no real veteran presence outside of Tobias Harris, and that's not saying nothing. So again, for me, like I'm not mad at either guy winning it. I wish nothing but the best for both coaches because I think both are doing a hell of a job. But it's either or for me, bro. It really is. I really can't call it either way.
Yeah,
But
it's gonna be crazy, bro.
yeah, for sure. But that's gonna be it for the show tonight, guys. Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in once again. Those who did tune in. If y'all are still watching, man, y'all be sure to hit like, subscribe on the channel right now. Go follow me on my other platforms, man. LastWord Productions is the handle across the board. And keep in mind, we are doing a giveaway of merchandise for the show, as well as a signed autographed basketball from an NBA player, man. So if you're interested in any of those things, follow me on my platforms. Let me know you follow me, and you get you feel me, your name put in the raffle, man. So you got anything else you want to add, Breeze, before we head up?
Same thing, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We consistent. Y'all stay consistent. Thank y'all for following, man.
So, all right, my boy.
All right, bro.